Hi everyone, I am Sarah and this is my channel, The Rocking Chair Stitcher, and welcome back to my channel. I wanted to say thank you for everyone who has subscribed and watched my videos and liked them and left really nice comments. I have really enjoyed hearing about your rocking chairs. A couple of you have commented about rocking chairs in your life that reminded you of them when I talked about mine last time, and that really made me smile. And I've just really enjoyed chatting with you guys in the comments. And yeah, so it is October 12th, it's Thursday, and it's been 2 weeks since I did my last Flosstube. This is my Flosstube number 4. And I am still getting over a head cold and sinus thing, so I apologize in advance. This is my 3rd time trying to film this. And I've got my water right here, and I have, just finished a throat lozenge, so I'm really hoping I can film this, because it's been a long 2 weeks. There's been a lot of stuff going on in our personal lives that's hard but good, but just life, and so just processing and dealing with that stuff. So to do something fun and lighthearted, I really enjoy doing Flosstube. So I was like, okay, if I can get to it today, I would really like to sit down and do this. So I've got all of my current whips out of their frames. I was gonna iron them, didn't happen, but I am in a better lighting situation. You might notice I'm in a different setup, and it's kind of chaotic. Like Justin's birthday gift sitting up there, and the totes and the guitar behind me. We are in my future new master bedroom, but it is not finished yet. It will be painted. Hopefully I'll get to it this weekend. I gotta paint. You can see there's a washroom in there. That's what we call the bathroom in Canada. I thought it was a laundry room when I first came here. I didn't realize that they called the bathroom the washroom. Anyway, so you can see the bathroom back through there, but then the space before it that you see, this dark wood, which is the ceiling, that is going to be the new living room. So but you can go back on my old Flosstube. I think it's the last episode, so my 3rd Flosstube. I am all over the place today. I've almost knocked over the lamp that I've now moved out of the way like 2 or 3 times. But we will just, this is me. You get me in all my raw glory. Anyway, okay. So let's see if we can make it through my whips this time without me coughing up a storm. Actually, I have a finish. So this is a new pattern that I designed, and I'm working on, for me, bigger projects and that are slower to finish. And I was like, I need to see something started and finished in a couple of days. And this took me a couple of hours to stitch between 2 different afternoons. Not a lot of time, but he was just as much fun as he was to design it. And then I really enjoyed the stitch because it's not complicated. So he's kind of a chubby little ghost who caught a cold. And very applicably, I basically finished him and I caught a cold. So did my son. So it was good timing. My son's favorite word right now is achoo, and he literally would just sit there and achoo. And if you sneeze, he's all about like imitating and mimicking you. He also oftentimes has a blankie, and he'll throw it over his head, or we'll put it over his head and play peekaboo. And so it made me think of that. And then I was thinking about a little ghost, because sometimes Justin gets his words or sounds mixed up a bit. Instead of saying achoo, he says like aboo, because he brings in a lot of B sounds. And so then I was like, if a ghost sneezed, he wouldn't say achoo, he'd say boo. And so it inspired Norbert, the little ghost who's a little fluffy with his fluffy blanket, his little bat box of tissues, and his little mug of cocoa or coffee or whatever. So I love him, and I already have some pattern ideas where I'm imagining Norbert in different scenarios. And I don't know if I'll design them this year or not, but probably so. But I don't know. He just got me so tickled. He's got he's kind of washed out in this lighting. He's got just little blushing cheeks. A couple of friends have been stitching him and have made little changes. And I love that. Like, it's exciting to me to make something and stitch it up myself and see my idea come to life, but then to see other people take it in their hands and change it and make it like how they see it, like I love that. Doesn't bother me a bit, and I want to see how people stitch him up. So if you want the pattern, he is up in my Etsy shop, Norbert the Ghost. The pattern's called Autumn Chill because Norbert caught a chill. This is my first adventure doing rickrack, making a little pillow. I've made little throw pillows for my couch and for my rocking chair in the past, but so this is all new. He is about the most economical little pillow you could make. I wanted to finish him the day that I finished stitching him, and I wanted to get him into the pillow format, and so I cut my material too close. Number one lesson I learned, because it started to fray when I was trying to do the rickrack. I mis-sewed here and sewed the rickrack in, tried to take it out and fix it like 2 or 3 times, and the material started fraying so bad. I was like, I'm gonna have to glue this guy if I'm not careful. So yeah, it's not perfect, but I really like them. But this was just rickrack that I had from my Nana's craft stuff. Super skinny, so it was really hard to work with. So I think next time I will work with bigger margins on my little pillow and thicker or wider rickrack. That's 2 of the lessons I learned. He's stuffed with toilet paper because I didn't have any fluff, and I didn't have the card that day to go to town and grab some. So he's stuffed with toilet paper, which works because he's just a little pillow to sit in my little sewing bowl in my hutch. And his back material is... Can anybody guess what this is? I'll let you just, you can talk to your computer and guess what you think he is, but I'm still going to tell you. But I discovered a couple years ago that the paint aisle in Walmart, at least here in Nova Scotia, has drop cloths, like canvas drop cloths, like really sturdy, thick material. All of this is left over from creating a wall hanging for a family member who asked for one, that I like did a decal on my Cricut and put it on their stuff for their nursery. And it's like a really nice canvas, but it's not too hard, and if you wash it, it gets sort of kind of a canvasy smell, and it's massive. And I think this whole thing was $30 or $40 Canadian, so like so much fabric. And I've made throw pillows out of it before. Before I ever attempted to sew, I was all about hot gluing anything I could to make it look like it was sewn, but hot gluing it because I was not about to fight with a sewing machine. And so you can definitely hot glue painter's canvas to make throw pillows. I'm sure all of you sewers are like cringing right now, but I can now sew a pillow-ish. Don't look at this as my example because I totally screwed it up with the rickrack for a nice finish, but I think he's still cute. I love the stitch. I will probably stitch him again, maybe in a different color or on a different canvas, or not canvas. My goodness, guys, sorry, on a different material of the fabric. But I actually really like the color of the background because I feel like it has Halloween colors pop out a lot. So I thought he was cute, little Norbert. So that's my start and finish and new pattern all in one. But you can get the pattern. I'll put the link down below in the doodly-doo. And that is my only start and finish. I had a piece of fall decor. I went through my fall decor. I don't have a ton, and I really like downsized on my decorations a couple years ago. And eventually when the house feels more settled, I will work on making some more and maybe purchasing some more over time slowly and stuff. But for now, this is like my almost only fall decor thing I have that I'm putting out this year with all the Renault stuff going on. And this is actually not cross stitched. It is embroidery. And oh, looky there. I missed 2 back stitches. 3. Oh boy, guys, don't look too closely. I was so excited to show you this. This is my happy fall wreath. I found the pattern years ago on Pinterest. It was just a free pattern as long as you didn't like sell it or like sell the finished product. So the stitching is so slanted and crooked, and I love it. I love everything about it because it just made me happy. I love the little pumpkins. And so this is not a new stitch. The back is a mess. I used to embroider a lot before I got the cross stitch. and I kind of got tired of embroidery. But maybe I'll go back and you know, just dabble in it from time to time. But I'm gonna hang it up, and I just thought it was so cute, so I thought I'd show you guys. I love the fall colors for anything and everything. So back to cross stitch. That was my only non-cross stitch related, I think. The lady in the bathtub came back this week, or the last 2 weeks. Not a ton of progress, but I did get some started on. This is going to be the cake right here. And so I did the base layer of the cake and a little bit more up here where the brown was. And I like to try to just keep going with the same thread and finish it off. I don't like to have a lot of threads hanging if I can help it. I have a white one back here hanging from down here because I just got like so tired of stitching white. But there's actually blue in the cake, which surprised me because in the image you don't see the blue. So I'm curious to see how that'll work up. I may pull the blue out and stitch it with something more creamish looking, but I'm just doing whatever the called for and provided floss is. I don't think the kit is DMC, but I'm not sure. But if I don't end up liking it, then I'll pull it. So this is the base of the like Victrola music megaphone thing looking. I think it's Victrola. Anyway, something like that, an old music player. And then the rest of the blue that was over here, I just took it and I started some of the water lines here. I'm like overthinking this stitch so much because I'm like, do I finish the lady in the bathtub next? Or do I finish the tub next? Or do I finish her surroundings and then put the lady in the tub? But then I'm like, it's kind of late because her legs are already there. So she's already there technically. So yeah, I think I'm going to stitch the lady next. But then she's just going to be floating. But she's in a tub. So anyway, so silly to overthink it. But you know, you do. I also felt guilty because I hadn't stitched on her much. And I had stitched on some other stuff like a ton. Like, it doesn't matter. It's okay. Just stitch what I want. But it was funny. I actually genuinely felt guilty. I was like, oh, I haven't worked on the lady in the bathtub. Oh my goodness. Anybody else do that? Like, they're like, oh gosh, I gotta get back to that one. So there's a couple others that you'll see in a minute, like whips, that I've been really focusing my stitch time on. So my 100 Owls project has not received, realize I dropped one of my whips here. My 100 Owls project has not received as much time as I would like, but it's also, I'm finding, I think it's 32 count. I realized when I was filming the first time and had to stop that all of my fabric stickers are like on the patterns or in the project bags. So I will put all the info down below of what I'm stitching and what I'm stitching it on, all those details down there, because my brain cannot work on both of those projects today for some reason. But it'll be down in the doodly-doo. You can look for it there. But I'm finding, I think this is 32 count, if I remember right, Lugana, I think. And it's a little bit finer, so it's a little hard for me to see. And so I'm having to stitch it more in natural light, especially by the window in my kitchen, I find helpful. So I get a lot of my stitching done at night, like after my son goes to bed and when we're just watching TV and stuff. So unfortunately, all the natural light's gone at that point. So for now, he's kind of my morning stitch. But I did, so last time I just had the owl and a little bit of the greenery up top here. So I finished the greenery, which I think is so beautiful. And then the owl over here, I've got some decent progress on. He's just the exact same owl as this guy, but just mirrored. And I am loving doing the brown orange looking feather or wing there, that like this one. It's just fun. I don't know, the counting is very simple, but the pattern just, I don't know. I just love everything about this stitch. So other than the fabric is beautiful and the color is perfect in my opinion for this stitch, but it is just harder for me to see. So that is annoying because I feel like it's slowing me down because I want to stitch on it more. And morning time is not when I usually have more time to stitch, but making it work. And I really, really like him. So I'm like, my goal is to do 2 owls a week with a couple of grace weeks in there so I can finish him in 1 year. But I don't think it's going to happen. But that's okay. I'm enjoying him and that's what matters. So yeah. All right. So that is 100 Owls, and that's by Owl Forest Embroidery. And I was telling my husband last night, because I just saw another Owl Forest embroidery. I was like, oh, that's beautiful too. And like when I'm on Instagram or seeing someone's Flosstube and they hold up a pattern before I even see the name or hear them say what the name is, or when I'm scrolling before I even read details, I almost can guarantee if I like fall in love with it instantly, it is an Alforest embroidery pattern. I just seem to like love anything they put out that I've seen so far. So I don't know, like that's the first designer that I'm like, oh my goodness, I just want to see anything they create and make sure I don't want to stitch it, like, because I probably do. But yeah, so I'm really enjoying that one. And then last week, I keep saying last week, 2 weeks ago when I did my last Flosstube, I mentioned that I had just designed a new pattern, but I hadn't stitched it yet. And I got asked if it's already in my shop or if I'm going to put it up before I stitch the model. And I'm not. I'm going to stitch the model first because I want to make sure that the pattern is correct and I haven't missed any details, or if I want to tweak anything or add anything. And I want to make sure that the colors are on fleek with what I want. So half the time when I design a pattern, like I've designed several patterns that are not on my shop yet because I'm still playing with them and working on them. But half the time when I've designed a pattern, as I'm stitching it, I realize, oh, I want to change that color. Oh, I want to change that. Oh, there's a little random thing here I want to fix. So I want to only put out patterns to share with you guys that are like what I would feel proud to say, I designed that and it's complete and you're going to get something that works really nicely. Not to say you can't change the colors. That doesn't bother me a bit. But I want it to look the way I had imagined it, if that makes sense, before I put it out there. So I am flattered that you want to stitch my pattern, and thank you for the compliment. And it will be up hopefully by the end of October or early November. But this is my progress on it so far. Little gingerbread house. It's gonna be snow down here, and then this is the fun snow border that will go on the 3 sides. And it's just one single gingerbread house. I have been having so much fun like stitching the gingerbread designs. See if I can get them up close here. I don't know if it's focusing. When I first started stitching it, I kind of panicked, and it's kind of hard to tell in this light. This is a nice Christmassy green, but upstairs in my low light in my bedroom when I was stitching it one night, I was like, oh no, it looks like a black tree. Like it's supposed to be green. My husband said like, oh, it does look black. And I was like, oh no, this tree's supposed to be green. So I wasn't sure. I almost like stopped and started ripping it out almost. And then I was like, no, I'm going to just stitch some of the stuff around it and see. And I had such a hard time picking the color for the gingerbread house itself. But this is, I believe 435 DMC. And I feel like I am stitching this color in almost all of my projects. I saw a post on Instagram a little while back that was like, what are the DMC color codes that you know right off the top of your head? I was like, yeah, 435. And now I'm questioning it as I'm doing this Flosstube. I'm like, is it 435? Pretty daggone sure that's this color. Anyway, there's going to be a cute little reindeer over here. And this like kind of funky shaping is the sill of the windowsill, whatever, however you say that, of the window. And then it's got greenery, and there's some greenery on the corner here that's kind of going to go with the bunting and the wreath. And I got to fill in the rest of the door. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's really a fun stitch. And I like down here, I saved this portion for when I'm like in a meeting or something that I'm like, I can't focus on counting, but I'm like, all of this is white. So I can just stitch this and I don't have to think about it. And I like to do a bunch of half stitches and then I'll go back and cross them. I have no idea if that's against cross stitch rules for like the technical proper way, but I rarely do anything the technical proper way, probably. So yeah, it's okay. So I really am enjoying it. It's a fun stitch. And I think what I'm going to do when it's finished, it'll probably, like the stitch will probably go to about here, I think. Kind of hard for me to visualize without like just finishing stitching it. But I think I'm going to finish it as a cute little throw pillow for, I have like these decorative antique chairs in my house. So once the renovation's all done and I get to decorate for Christmas, which I'm so excited for. I love Christmas. I'm like, I'm going to respect Remembrance Day, because that's here in Canada. I didn't notice this in the States, but in Canada, they kind of want you to wait to put anything up to celebrate Christmas or decorate for Christmas until after Remembrance Day, which we have that same day in the US. I can't remember if it's under a different name or if it is under Remembrance Day, but I don't ever remember hearing that or growing up with that thought process of like you shouldn't decorate before then, which most of my life that I lived in the US was as a child and teenager, where you're not paying attention to a lot of those nuances as much. So it could very well be a very normal cultural thing to wait till after that day. But actually, I'm not sure. So you guys were great last time talking about American and Canadian Thanksgiving. So tell me if you know down below, in the US, do you wait till after Remembrance Day? But actually, I think it's Veterans Day in the States. This is so bad, guys. I am sorry. It's so bad. I have 2 brothers who have served, so I'll just have to ask them which one it is. I come from a military family, like on both sides of my family. So bad. And we always like spend that day like we do, like we wear a poppy in Canada. But like even growing up in the US, like we still honored that and like acknowledged that. So why I cannot think what the name of that day is, I really apologize, guys. But what I'm trying to say is, at some point after Remembrance Day, we will decorate for Christmas. Josh says, my husband Josh says, because we celebrate 2 Thanksgivings and I insist on having American Thanksgiving, that we have to wait till after Thanksgiving to decorate. And my logic is we already had Canadian Thanksgiving, so it's already after Thanksgiving to decorate. Josh would not decorate till probably a week before Christmas if we just went with his way of thinking. Like we at least decorate from like American Thanksgiving night on. But I may start putting stuff out before then. Anyway, now it's bugging me so much at the back of my head. I'm going to have to go back and check on what we call that day in the US. I think it's Veterans Day. Anyway, that's important to me to acknowledge that. So I'll have to go and look it up after I finish filming this. Sorry for my lack of knowledge on that, guys. Anyway, I have 2 more whips I want to show you. This is my friend's baby announcement, like the baby name and the dates and the weight and all that kind of stuff, the birth details. So she's due sometime in the wintertime. So this is, like I said before, is kind of like my only like gotta get this done by a certain point stitch. And I love this stitch. Adventure awaits. I think it's so cute. And I think the deer is adorable, but right now it's terrifying because it has no eyes. So I got, last time I think I literally just had part or most of Adventure stitched and maybe a little bit of Mountain. So, I loved the pop of color with the word awaits. I thought that was so fun. And there's going to be a little deer, and I think there's a bear and maybe a rabbit, or there's 3 animals, I think. And then there's arrows and more mountains and stuff. And it is just so cute. And it has been a little bit more counting than I expected it to be, but it's really fun. And it's fun to see the picture come alive. And I love the font of the lettering. So the creepy deer will be adorable next time you see him, because I'll fill his eyes in and his nose and the back of his hind end, and he'll look like a full deer instead of kind of like a zombie deer. My husband and I were like laughing last night when I was stitching him. He was like, that is terrifying. But he's actually a really, really cute design. And again, I don't have the name of the designer or anything right here beside me because brain today, guys, is just not working well. But I will put all of that down in the description box below so you can check it out. I got this as a PDF pattern off of Etsy, and it's been a pretty fast stitch. I went to a ladies conference for just a Saturday with some friends, and honestly, wasn't my jam, just personally, but I got a lot of stitching done. I focus listening so much better when I stitch while I do, like when I try to listen. So I used to sit in church and knit because I didn't have to think, I didn't have to count. I just, like, because I would just do knit purl, like for a scarf or a blanket or whatever. Like just a row of knit or a row of purl. So I would knit in church. Now my hands are full with Justin, so that does not happen, which is fine. But I focus better in situations like where I'm listening if I have something to do with my hands that's productive. So I enjoyed cross-stitching that day and hanging out with friends, and to each their own just wasn't my thing. but I enjoyed the stitching time, and the time with the girlfriends was fun. And then I have one more whip. You know, I always think I don't have enough to share, and that this is gonna, like, I'm not gonna have anything to say, and then I can't shut up when I get on here. So you guys get to hear all my rambling stories. So this is, I do know the name of this stitch because it is my favorite. And it's like going way too fast. I say it's my favorite. It's not my favorite in that there's a lot of confetti. But the pattern is beautiful, and I am so excited to like finish it and frame it. And even though the confetti part is not my favorite, like how, you know, like on the tree up here, you're like changing color so much. And because I picked a lighter fabric, usually I would trail the thread a little bit more, but because it's on such a light fabric, like I'm pretty sure some of those threads are gonna show. Maybe not. Probably depends on how I back it too. But because of that, I'm not trailing anywhere near as much as I usually do, which I'm probably not supposed to do anyway, but I do. But because of that, then there's a ton of confetti. So I don't love the start and stop of that as much, but I love this stitch. It's called Autumn Glows, cheapers, by Little Dove Designs on Etsy. And I just love it. I love everything about it. I don't remember exactly where I was last time, but I got all the leaves and the tree. Like, look, the leaves are falling. So cute. I think they still have some more leaves that are supposed to go here. The house is done except for where it looks whitish already or creamish. That's just the fabric, and that's going to be stitched white. And for me, because I was kind of hopping all over originally because I didn't have all my colors in yet because my order hadn't come in with my skeins of floss, I was kind of all over, so I would do references. So I would count out from here so I could see how far out I need to go to the border and that kind of thing. That's just how my brain works for keeping up, making sure I'm like in the right places. But like, just look at some of the fun details, like the little jack-o'-lantern, these leaves, boots. And then down here, I got most of the owl done. I love these leaves. I still got to fill in several of them, and I wanted to see how tall the project would be so that I could get, so I could cut my fabric. And I did one of the little doodads on the outside. It's not finished, but I just wanted to see kind of width-wise. I did not leave myself a ton of margin. I'm learning about myself that I like try to skimp on my material because I'm like, oh, I don't want to waste any. I'm like, okay, Sarah, be a little less frugal on the material here because you're going to have like tight margins there. But I will frame it. I won't have it professionally done. Eventually, I will probably do some piece that I'm like, I have to just get it professionally done. But for now, I will just thrift my frames or yard sale them, and I will make it work. But I did the back stitching for some of the words. So currently it's November, but it will be November and September and October. And the little fruit in the basket, I think they're apples. Kind of look like oak leaves, so apples falling from an oak tree. I don't know, but they're cute. So I just love it. I was so skeptical about that purple in there, and it has like, of course, looked perfect in there. It looks great down there. I'm tickled pink. And guys, I'm gonna pose because every time I do a floss tube, all 3 times, like every time, like I've been doing this for years, all 3 times I've done a floss tube, I forget to take a picture for my thumbnail or to stop long enough and freeze. And the problem with that is when I go back and try to like screenshot for my thumbnail, I move too fast, so it's kind of blurry. So, yeah, there you go. I think it's so cute. It makes me smile. So, and I'm like, I'm not going to decorate with autumn all year round, but I kind of want to like finish it and frame it and leave it up all year round because I think it's beautiful. And this one, I know I'm so distracted today. Sorry, guys. This one, I wish you could feel it. None of the others that I've stitched have had the same kind of like draw to me to like sensory. I want to touch all the stitches, like something about the shapes, like I guess because like I can kind of like even close my eyes and feel the shapes for some of them. I know, wackadoo, you're not supposed to touch your stitches, but that's all I want to do with this stitch is just feel all those autumn leaves. Anyway, here you go. So silly, I know, guys. Can you tell that I've worked with children most of my life? After being a child, then, you know, working with kids, now having a kid. Just how my brain thinks. It's like tactile kids goofiness. So that's what you get. That's what you get on my Flosstube. So that is all of my whips. Just look at my list. What else did I have that I wanted to say? Oh, I have no haul. I behaved so well. I didn't buy anything because I didn't have any budget to buy anything for Flosstube. Well, not for Flosstube, but for my stitching. And I didn't need anything right now. I technically have birthday money still that I am planning on spending on material. Because I want to start, oh my goodness. A New Creation Studios is the designer. Allison is her name. And I think the stitch is called My Soul Finds Rest or something like that. I've shown it in a couple of the Flosstubes already. She gifted me the pattern. I am so excited to stitch it. I've been ogling it for months. Ogling it? I've been wanting to stitch it for months, however you say that. So I think I am going to be purchasing the material and the floss for it soon. I have my eye on another pattern, but it's for a gift, and I don't know if they'll probably end up seeing it if I put it on Flosstube. So I am not going to show that, which is like so against, because I'm like, I got to show everything I'm working on if it's a genuine Flosstube. No, I don't. It's a gift. You can't see it. So eventually when I finish it and send it to them for their gift or whatever, then I will take a photo of it in good light so that you can see it. It's going to kill me to be stitching on it and not showing you because it's a beautiful stitch. I found the pattern in a magazine and absolutely love it. So anyway, on to Stitchy Kindness. I received the kindest package in the mail. I have been chatting it up with Lorena and Linda from the Foxes Cottage since I don't even know if I had put a Flosstube out yet. I don't remember. I don't remember who recommended me to theirs or if we found each other on Instagram and I just saw them post about their first Flosstube. I genuinely, like, I've not been in this world that long and I cannot remember how I met her. But Lorena and I chat back and forth quite a bit, and she was the friend who told me just switch up the coloring on Norbert's blanket to stop making him look like a piece of sushi. So he looked more like a ghost in a blanket. She suggested it. She didn't tell me what to do, but she suggested it and really appreciated that advice because he went from looking like an orange wrapped piece of salmon sushi to looking like a cute little Halloween ghost. So anyway, we chat back and forth. I always enjoy our conversations. Same with Linda. And love watching their Flosstube. They are so fun, and I love their mom-daughter dynamic. And actually, Lorena's little girl she drew Norbert, the little ghost, this little guy. She drew him and like wrote some stuff about him and like stapled it together in a book for her mom. And I was like, that is the funnest thing. I absolutely love that. It made my day. They were talking about on their last Flosstube. So it just made me smile. But anyway, so Lorena asked if she could have my mailing address because she wanted to send a surprise. And it was just really sweet. It made my day and made my son's day. So she sent me some stickers. She has I can never get this website right. Gumroad or Gumtree? I think it's Gumroad. I'm sure you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. But I'll try to link it down below. She has stickers that she has drawn and they are so beautiful. So she sent me a couple of her stickers, and this is my journal, my planner. So I was like, where can I put them that I'll see them regularly? Because at first I was like, I'm never going to use these. I'm never going to take them off the paper. I'm just going to keep them so they're pretty. And Josh is like, but you should put them on something that you see them all the time so you can enjoy them instead of like keeping them safe but not using them. I was like, yeah, that's a good point. So, look at this moose. I mean, I live in Canada. So, and I actually kind of have an obsession with seeing a moose because I've only ever seen one moose here and it was dead. So I really want to see a live moose. And I was like, I have a moose. So, and he's a Christmas moose. Very festive. So he's on the back of my planner, and I'm excited because my planners are undated and I start them because my first one I started in like July, the year I started using these. So I'll get to see him until like next summer, which makes me so happy. And look at these little Christmas, I think it's mouse. Yeah, Christmas mouse, eat a cookie. And this one is my absolute favorite because it's just so fall. Little pumpkin fox. I just love it. So if I understood right, Lorena drew these and then turned them into stickers. And I'm like, Lorena, if you ever turn him into a cross stitch, let me know. I will definitely be stitching him. But yeah, they are absolutely beautiful. And I use my planner pretty much every day, so I get to see them all the time. So super sweet. And then this one, I will just tell you, I didn't get my lint roller out. My cat has adopted this bag, Lorena. So this is now my project bag, but 90% of the time it is my cat's bed. Anywhere I put this bag, he finds it and wants to lay on it. So I apologize, there are a few hairs on him, but look at this gorgeous project bag. If that's not Stitchy Kindness, I don't know what is. So now I own 2 gorgeous project bags. Well, and I made one too, but 2 that have been gifted to me, and they are just beautiful. And she puts handles on hers, and I'm like, this is a game changer. Like, this is the bag I'll grab. I'm like, whatever goes in here, because I've switched out the project a few times, whatever ends up in this bag is the one I grab because it's just so convenient to grab as I run out the door. I love it. It's huge, which is great because it holds, I've actually been keeping 2 patterns in here. And it's got her cute little logo on the back. I don't know if you can see that. Foxes Cottage. And I love this part. Look at this. It's so cute. The little zipper, little charm is a fox. So perfect. And I just thought the fabric was beautiful. The bees. I didn't go very slow on the back so you can see the back. Like the fabric is really pretty and it's sparkly. I think the lamp's actually picking that up pretty good, which I love sparkles. I love sparkles that don't like get on you, on your hands, which these do not. And then the fabric inside is matches the handle. So kind of the same fabric here. So really, really cute. She also rounds her corners, which I love. So thank you, Lorena. I am absolutely loving it. And I told you I wasn't sure which project was going to live in there. And the project that's been living in there is the baby announcement one. And then my gingerbread house one that I'm stitching. Because it's perfect for putting both in. So, I'm just really, 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 my love tank is filled up. A really thoughtful gift. So, really, really cute. I will link her shop down below so you can check her out. Go buy her project bags, and I think she has a couple of her patterns in there now. She's designed 2 that I've seen for sure. And I think she's quite a bit like me in that she's constantly designing. But I'll link her down below so you can check her out and go do some Christmas shopping or just some fun shopping or whatever. But thank you very much, Lorena. I love it. So I think Stitchy Kindness. Yeah. I had a couple of Flosstubers that I wanted to mention that I've been enjoying. I love Flosstube. I struggle with insomnia, so oftentimes I actually fall asleep listening to Flosstube. Like I do watch it as well, but sometimes I just literally lay there and listen because it's just fun to hear people's stories and stuff. So I love a good chatty Flosstube. So if you have a Flosstube and you're watching this, feel free to comment down below. Like, always comment no matter whether you have Flosstube or not, please. I love the comments. It literally makes my day. Talking with you guys and learning about you guys, where you're from, little stories about your rocking chairs. Love to hear what you're stitching. Like, just the friendship, it's really fun. Love it. But if you do have a Flosstube that you have yourself, please definitely comment down below and tell me. I would love to go check it out. And if you know of a chatty floss tube that you think I might enjoy, feel free to drop that in the comments, because I'm always enjoying finding new ones to add to my list. A couple though that I've been enjoying that I want to share was Stitches and Diamonds, which I think she kind of has a pretty big following, and it sounded like, I've only watched one of hers so far, but it sounded like she used to do stuff for Caterpillar Cross Stitch, so I'm guessing most people probably know about her already. But if you didn't, Stitches and Diamonds, I really enjoyed looking at what she was currently stitching and some of her finishes. Stitches with Charlie Feathers, I absolutely loved watching her a couple weeks back, and I don't think I mentioned her in the last video, but she was outside. It may have been a month ago now. Anyway, you'll see when you go look at her channel. She just is a joy to watch, and it's nice to see what she's stitching, and seeing a Flosstuber outside, I'm like, I need to do that. So I really enjoyed her video, and enjoyed just hearing the birds and stuff in the background and seeing the lighting of being outside. Just really nice, and it actually inspired me to sit outside and stitch, and just to be getting outside. I'm really working on trying to get outside more. I don't love heat, and it's a good thing I live in Canada because at least it's not super hot all the time, but we do get heat, believe it or not. Hot enough to be in a tank top and shorts and still be really hot. I know some people are always blown away by that, but we have 4 seasons here. But we are definitely in the full thick of fall now, and I love it. 100% love it. We went on a, it's in kilometers in my head, 5-kilometer walk today and a 5-something walk yesterday. Basically like three-ish miles yesterday and today, both days. And although I'm a bit sore from how far I walked, like it hurt my back a bit because I wasn't wearing the best of shoes. But anyway, that's a side note. But it was just so nice being out in the fresh air and just taking Justin along. We had a little wagon I pull him in. I'm just gonna drink some water. That frog is coming back. I am almost done, so I'm doing pretty good. But just loving the autumn weather. And so anyway, Charlie's Feathers encouraged me to, like, I gotta be getting outside and enjoying being outside again. So I'm working on doing that. And then I got a comment from a lady, I think on the last video, I can't remember for sure, on one of the last Flosstubes. Her YouTube name is Magnolia Nana, and I went over, because what I like to do is oftentimes if I have a chance, I will click on whoever comments and see if they have a Flosstube, and then, because then I can put a face to the name and whoever's commenting and see, and then go watch their Flosstube. I don't always get to do it. I don't get to do it with every single comment, but if I have time, I really like to do that. And so I clicked on her name and found that she had a Flosstube, and oh my goodness, Magnolia Nana, you just have the sweetest voice. And I just enjoyed watching your channel so much. I just wanted to come over for tea and like sit and stitch with you. So fangirling moment for a second there. Really enjoyed watching you. So if you see this, thanks for sharing your comments so that I actually found your channel. And if you want someone who is just a gem to sit and listen to and see what she's stitching, go check out Magnolia Nana. She also talks about books she's reading, and kind of gave, the first one I watched, she gave like history of the author, and I'm guessing from how she was talking about, she's talked about this author before in some of their books. But I actually have a hold on my library app to listen to one of the books she mentioned. So yeah, really would recommend hers. I've watched 1 or 2 more of hers. Really enjoyed her. And then Sew Stitch Repeat is a really new Flosstube. I think she has 2 videos out now. I was just watching one last week, and I think it was her second one. I don't think I've missed one, so I think there's only 2 so far. And I absolutely love the patterns she's stitching. She has a very similar style. I am starting to learn my style a little bit of what I gravitate towards with patterns and stuff. So she has beautiful work. She's also doing some quilting too, which I am not quilting myself, but I enjoy seeing it. So I would definitely go check her out. She has some giveaways that are for people in the US, and they're really nice patterns. So definitely go check her out. But really nice to watch her channel. And then one other one I found, she was cracking me up with her cat, Stitchin, like STITCHIN apostrophe, with Mac, and Mac is spelled M-A-K. and totally was enabled by her floss tube, because several of the patterns she's stitching, I was like, yeah, I want to stitch that. There's like one that's like a lemon kitchen vibe, and it's now on my 1, 2, 3 stitch cart. I make a list for Christmas when I get asked, what do you want for Christmas from family? Because on the spot, I can't think of anything. Like, that's not how my brain works. I can never remember. And I'm like, fuzzy socks? I have so many fuzzy socks. Oh, no, I don't now. I have a reasonable amount of fuzzy socks. I used to have way too many. I just can't think, like, in the moment. So if I think of something throughout the year that I'm like, oh, I would love to receive that as a gift, but I don't want to spend the money on it myself, or my budget, I've already spent too much, or my max, or whatever. You know, those things that, like, they're a splurge, and you're like, you could, but you probably should, you know, not. I stick them on a list in my email in a draft, and then at the end of the year, when Christmas rolls around and everybody starts asking for your list, what would you like, da da da, I'll go to that list and I'll be like, why did I put this random thing? And I'll move the stuff off there that I never actually really needed or really, really loved and wanted, and then I narrow it down. And pretty much, I'm pretty sure my list is going to end up being a bunch of cross-stitch patterns. But it's okay. It's okay, because that's easy to ship. So that is all I have today, I think. We've just been getting over being sick and, you know, doing life and stuff. And the reno has come along really well. Josh just finished the last bit of sanding last night from all the mudding and sanding layers you have to do. Holy cow. I always forget how much work it is to do new drywall or to patch drywall and to mud it and sand it and mud it and sand it a million times. So I'm so thankful for him and all of that work he put into it. It's done. So it's back there. You can see the tape, the blue tape around the edges. That is not new paint, that is tape. The trim is all been painted white recently in the last 2 years. So we're going to leave that for now. And we got like this, it's called Swiss Coffee. It's kind of a creamy beige, really light. Like in a lot of lightings, it actually looks like white. But it's just enough color for me that it's not stark and it's kind of warm and glowy. It's not glowy. I don't know. Guys, my description abilities today are down the drain. But I'll show you. Maybe next Flosstube it'll all be painted. Maybe this room will be painted, the new bedroom. Maybe these stacks of tubs will be gone. Who knows? Maybe I'll just stitch for 2 weeks. I don't know. Let's see. That probably won't happen because we have a bunch of stuff coming up in the next 2 weeks to be doing as a family. But future plans for stitching, I hope to start that gift that I was mentioning, but I can't show it. And I hope to maybe work on some really small Christmas ornaments that are similar to the little reindeer one I showed. I had ambitions to stitch all of my family individual cross-stitch ornaments for Christmas. I don't know if that's too ambitious. We'll see. We are doing a homemade Christmas this year. We try not to go crazy with buying a lot of material things for holidays, for birthdays, for Christmas especially. Like, because I become very overwhelmed with too much stuff in my home. Like this, overwhelming. So we're not minimalist, but we definitely lean that way in a lot of ways. So we tend to buy experiences. We'll buy a pass to the zoo, or like last year, what we did for our first Christmas with our son home, we booked a hotel in the city that had like kind of an indoor little water park thing. And there's this big place called Glow in Halifax in Nova Scotia that it's like, I think over 1 million lights. I think a lot of cities have places like this, but this one's indoors, and you walk through and there's all these lighted setups and there's live music and there's like a sensory play space with all these light things for kids. And there's like a train they can ride. And anyway, so we chose to do an experience last year, and we went after Christmas, like between Christmas and New Year's, because my husband was off work. And for Christmas Day, I mean, because our son was only 2, so with a toddler, all they want to do anyway is play with the bag and play with the tissue paper. But we just got a bunch of things that glowed, or that glow at the dollar store. So like a glow ball and glow sticks and, you know, stuff Like the glow sticks we monitor him with, but other stuff that he could just play with that glowed, and like lights for his room that glowed. So we kept it really simple. So this year we were talking about, do we want to travel for the holidays or not? And we don't. We just want to stay right at home. We've traveled a lot this year because my husband was on paternity leave, and we are ready to tuck in and snuggle into our little Nova Scotia home. It's so cute in winter. I still want to stitch our house, but eventually I'll design that. But so what we've decided, why I'm rambling about Christmas in October, is we are going to do a homemade Christmas this year. So we are not allowed to buy each other gifts. We haven't set a budget yet, but we're gonna budget for buying supplies if we need them, and we have to make each other gifts. And we're kind of brainstorming what we're gonna make Justin together, and then we're gonna make some things for each other. I have a little kit that I'm gonna cross stitch Josh a bookmark, which forgot to bring it out, and it was gifted to me by a cross stitch company that asked if I would stitch it and leave a review of what I thought of the kit. So I will bring that next time and show it to you, but Josh doesn't know about it. So I'm gonna put that in a stocking. So yeah, so that's gonna be fun. I imagine I'll be stitching him maybe something a little bit bigger too, but I haven't decided what else I'm gonna make him yet. So like kind of his main gift. So if you have suggestions for an outdoor carpenter, loves to work with his hands, what's something I can make him? And I'm all ears. I'm at least going to cross stitch in the bookmark because it has ships, and he's all into a book series that has like 30 books in it or something crazy like that. It's all about ships, like in like the 1700s or 1800s or something. So not my genre, but he loves it. So yeah, so that's going to be fun. We were planning today what we're going to do. So we're doing the homemade Christmas like for our gifts, but we're going to, instead of spending the money on going away to the city and doing that kind of activities and hotel and stuff, we're going to spend the money on like cozy kind of Christmas activities at home this year. So, you know, we always get a tree and stuff, but we don't usually bake and those kind of things. So we're going to do some specialty baking that we don't usually do, and maybe do a gingerbread house competition, things like that. So it's just gonna be fun, cozy. So what I was gonna say, and then I promise I'll stop rambling because this is almost at an hour, is if you have a favorite Christmas tradition that you love to do, please comment it down below. Share what you love to do, because we don't have really any set traditions. We've been married, this will be our 8th Christmas together. I think we've been married almost 8 years, or 7.5 years. So you'd think we'd have some traditions by now, but we just usually cut it down a tree because we have a forest, woods in our property and stuff. But yeah, drop your favorite Christmas traditions down below. I know we have not even got to Halloween yet, but guys, as soon as it starts even getting a little bit chilly, I'm in a sweater. And we now have fires in the morning and at night in our wood stoves. That's how we heat our house. So I'm already thinking about Christmas. Like, I'm trying to stay in fall, but I'm already at Christmas mostly. So, so I'm stitching a gingerbread house, guys. It's how there's like the Halloween craze that so many people are like obsessed and love to stitch Halloween. That's how I feel about Christmas just in general. And so I'm sure it's going to come out in my stitching in the next little while. And I don't have any Christmas stitches going except for the gingerbread house. So maybe it's time I look or design one. Anyway, if you have stuck with me to the end, thank you so much for watching and for joining me and using some of your precious time to watch my floss tube. Thanks for putting up with my scratchy cold sinus throat, and thanks for laughing along with me, and I'm excited to hear from you in the comments and just how your weeks are going and what you're stitching and what your favorite Christmas traditions are. And I don't have a rocking chair story for you today. I'm still in the same rocking chair as last week, but yeah, thanks for taking time to spend with me today, guys. Happy stitching. Bye.